I guess that's what brings me to Sound and the Fury. Because I think Sound and the Fury is Faulkner right when so it's like 1929. See, let's get the dates right, because talked about this before and the dates haven't been exactly right. So he's born in 1897, Faulkner is, but this was first published in 1929. So see, he's 32 when it's published, so he's writing it from 30 to 31, right? But it's set, that makes sense, 1897 to 30, so he's 32 when it's published. Wow, that's right when I was 30, I was 31? When the fuck boy got published? But it's set in 1928, so it's set when he's 31. 1928, April 7th, 1928. So he's about to reach his Christ year, and he, the baptism of Christ happening at 30, and then he being crucified at 33. So he's right in that time, the beginning of his ministry, the baptism on January 6th, on Epiphany of Christ's 30th year, being when he is baptized by John the Baptist and first gets his magic, his powers to heal. So Faulkner is entering that time, and he writes a book of 4 books, so it's 4 Gospels. It's 4 parts, Sound and the Fury, and I've said this on earlier pods, but this is just someone. Okay, this is for someone who wants to read the book, has tried, doesn't really understand what the fuck is going on, and just puts it down. I've done this many times. I did this many times throughout my life before I finally read it. When I was age 19, 2019, age 28, was when I finally read it, and I remember, I had an idea going through the history of the different encounters I had with Faulkner before, but it's kind of neither. I just want to get right into it right now. But so you have four books. You have 4 siblings: Caddy, sister, Quentin, Benji, oldest retarded one, and mentally challenged, and Jason. And then of course it's set on the 3 days of Easter. It's set on Easter weekend. April 7th, 1928 is Holy Saturday. Then you have a Thursday, which is the second part. It's a Thursday night. It's a Thursday of going out, which reflects Maundy Thursday in my view, June 2nd, 1910. 18 years before the first part, and that's from Quentin's perspective. Then we have April 6th, Good Friday, 1928, and then April 8th, Easter Sunday. So it's obviously concerned with the Gospels. It's interacting with the Gospels, and what is the gospel? What's Easter weekend about? It's about the passion. It's about the crucifixion of Christ. So it's about the moment of someone growing up, coming into their powers, preaching, and then getting crucified, and then dying and coming back from the dead. And as soon as you start interacting with every religious text is interacting with all the religious texts, this symbol of dying, going underground, coming back from the dead. I mean, that's also what Dante is doing in Inferno. That's what it means to go die, go into hell, go underground, and come back from the dead. That's what Aeneas must do in Book 6. Every hero, every Greek hero, archetypal myth, has that moment of that's why they're called chthonic gods, chthonic deities, because chthonic means going underground, of or related to the underworld. So in Book 6 of what's it called, the Aeneid, which was written right around the 20 years before the birth of Christ in Rome. That is about the foundational hero who leaves the group, seems to have died, comes back. That's what Homer does. That's what Odysseus does in Book 10 of the Odyssey. He dies and comes back. He goes to the underworld in Book 10. Circe says you can leave my island as long as you go into Hades and then come back. And that's where, in the end of Book 10 in the Odyssey, he encounters Hercules down there. Because Hercules is the first. Hercules and Orpheus are the two foundational, primeval, mythical heroes who leave the group into the dark night, into the unknown, to slay what must be slain, and comes back. And that's how the gods were formed, but it's also an archetype of the first Neolithic hunter, right? So Hercules represents that first hunter who leaves the group into where the snakes are, the predators, and comes back. And then Orpheus is the first archetype, and Hercules does it with his fairness, his understanding of what's good and bad, protecting the weak. We never had this archetype before in humans, but also ultimately through strength, obviously. But Orpheus is the first one that that breaks off the bow from the branch, like Aeneas must do to enter the underworld. The golden bow. That's what he must. That's where that phrase comes from. Orpheus is the first archetype of someone who takes that bow and instead of wielding, takes that branch of a tree and instead of wielding like a weapon, bends it into a bow, into a damn lyre. And he is able to impact his peers, other brute men, savages around him, through art, through this cultivation of this creative sensibility, this artistic sensibility. So that's pretty fucking glow. That's why Rilke likes Orpheus so much. That's what the sonnets to Orpheus from 102 years ago, 103 years ago now, but about 100 years ago, 1922. I was reading those poems. I like those poems. But now, so with Faulkner, we have the 4 Gospels, and it's obviously about Christ's story. What is it about? How does it interact with that? So this is not the only way to read Sound of the Fury, but I've read it many times now. So, and what is Passion Week about? Why does Christ get crucified? Because he's loving all men equally. He's upsetting the power structure of the before, the Romans and what came before, the people who are higher, people who are lower, people who everybody is a person, a valuable person. This is the archetype that Christ has that no one has ever had. Really, I love everybody so much that I'll sacrifice myself. No humans had reason to do that before. That's what the symbol of Christ's story means. But also there's a drama between Mary Magdalene and Judas. That's a major part of the Gospels, which is when he forgives Mary Magdalene for her life of sins, her life of sin, of sexual sin. And Judas, who is the one of the 12 disciples, who is the money watcher. He's watched over the money bag, in order to thank Christ for forgiving her. Mary Magdalene pours the expensive perfume onto his feet, onto his body, and Judas gets upset and says, "Why did you waste this money when you could have given it to the poor?" And then that's part of what sows the seeds of betrayal, because he's being greedy, and he gets 30 coins in order to from the higher ups to sell him out and have him crucified. So that's what's going on there, right? So we already know there's stuff about the feeling of possessiveness over wanting to control women, and control people. This is what control the lower people. That's what that was going on in the time of the Romans. Most people were slaves, and Christ, the Christianity overthrowing the Roman Empire. It was this radical idea of everybody matters the same. There's never been stories with a fisherman, a publican, a prostitute in the religious story. There's never been that story. They weren't included in that. The low people. It was only the gods fighting it out, the heroes. So that's one of the conflicts that's playing out in Faulkner too, of coming from writing in a time when the oppression, in his experience, maybe he feels it in himself or not, but the wanting to protect and keep women pure, right? Because you have a prostitute, you also have the Virgin Mary, but you also have Mary Magdalene, who's lived a life of terrible experiences, so we have that kind of struggle with, because all these stories, ultimately, these religious stories, are to, in my view, if you think about it, and from reading following Vico, New Science by Vico from 1700s, every single religious story is to introduce a new level of humans' ability to love well, treat each other well, literally, become more human, and obviously the foundational element of that is is this idea of marriage and the idea of respecting the past, and marriage got something to do with that. A relationship between man and woman got something to do with it. That's so. When you're engaging with these questions in these ways and using these forms, that was my point with the whole confessions thing. Is I don't even know if is it a novel, or are you trying to write like a new foundational religious text? That's what I'm saying. I don't think I'm a novelist anymore. But let's see how much of this we can read. We got about 40 minutes, and I'm going to annotate as I go in, and maybe over a series of days I'll get through the whole thing, and then. Yeah, I'm going to go on for about 30, and then I got to get to work. April 7th, 1928. And, did I say everything I want to say? Yeah, so, you need to know who the characters are in the beginning, or else it's really hard to read. So, so I guess you have the three brothers, Jason, who's kind of like the money guy, Quentin, who's like the genius boy, writer boy, Benji, who's the oldest and an idiot, he's retarded, and little Caddy, sister Caddy. So, like I said, with the Christ drama playing out, there's an element of, and of course in Faulkner's time, all of Faulkner's novels, the element of purity in women, purity in race, purity in keeping things pure, or disdaining miscegenation, the mixing, or impurities in chastity, right? So that's one of the dramas going out there. And then of course you have Dilsey and her children, who's black, who are the caretakers of Benji and the kind of servants in the house. And this is 1897, Oxford, Mississippi, is where Faulkner grew up. He's writing about his experience growing up in a lot of ways. So April 7th, 1928, we know this is Holy Saturday. This is the day of Christ in his tomb. He dies on Good Friday. He's sleeping. Everything's quiet on Holy Saturday. He's underground. Obviously, Easter Sunday he will rise. But this is the quiet day. No talking. Benji can't talk. It's from Benji's perspective, and you'll see, and I'm going to just go through it a little bit. So through the fence between the curling flower spaces, I could see them hitting. They were coming toward where the flag was, and it went along the fence. Luster, flag hitting. Luster was hunting in the grass by the flower tree. They took the flag out, and they were hitting. Then they put the flag back. So he's with Luster, his caretaker, and he's bumbling along. Between the flower spaces, you can tell it's gulf. There's a flag, and they're going along the fence. Luster was hunting in the grass by the flower tree. They took the flag out, and they were hitting. Then they put the flag back, and they went to the table, and he hit, and the other hit. Then they went on, and I went along the fence. Luster came away from the flower tree, and we went along the fence, and they stopped, and we stopped, and I looked through the fence while Luster was hunting in the grass. Luster looking for something. They by a fence. There's people playing golf on the other side. Here, Caddy, someone said. He hit. They went away across the pasture. I held to the fence and watched them going away. Right away, this is Benji talking. He can't talk. Listen at you now, Luster said. Ain't you something? 33 years old, going on that way. 33, he's 33. After I done... Ain't you 33 years old, going on that way? After I done went all the way to town to buy you that cake. Bought him a cake for his birthday. Hush up that moaning, 'cause he's moaning, you know, he can't talk. Ain't you gonna help me find that quarter so I can go to the show tonight? Luster wants to go to a show tonight. They were hitting little, across the pasture. I went back along the fence to where the flag was. It flapped on the bright grass and the trees. Come on, Luster said. We done looked there. So he's still looking for that damn quarter. They ain't no more coming right now. No more people coming right now. Let's go down to the branch and find that quarter before them find it. That's just how I'm going to drop the ends. It was red, flapping on the pasture, talking about the Gulf flag again. Then there was a bird slanting and tilting on it. Luster threw. The flag flapped on the bright grass and the trees. I held the fence. I held to the fence. Shut up that moaning, Luster said. I can't make them come if they ain't coming, can I? If you don't hush up, Mammy ain't gonna have no birthday for you. If you don't hush, you know what I gonna do. I gonna eat that cake all up. Eat them candles, too. Eat all them 33 candles. Come on, let's go down to the branch. I got to find my quarter. Maybe we can find one of they balls. Here they is. Way over yonder, see? He came to the fence and pointed his arm. See them? They ain't coming back here no more. Come on. Can you guys see it? I don't know. I think we're good so far. I think you should be able to see it. Let me read this wood. I just got the fatty on there. Alright. We went along the fence, him and Luster, Benji and Luster. We went along the fence and came to the garden fence, where our shadows were. My shadow was higher than Luster's on the fence. We came to the broken place and went through it. Wait a minute, Luster said. You snagged on that nail again. Can't you never crawl through here without snagging on that nail? Okay, now, this is when the book starts to spiral out. We're only a page and a half in. But Benji snags on the nail, and he's moving a little slow, right? So, snagging on that nail sparks off a memory. And now he in his memories. It's italicized. And he's remembering a different time he got snagged on the nail. And it goes like this. Caddy, so it's his sister, Caddy. Caddy uncaught me and we crawled through. Uncle Maury said not to let anybody see us, so we better stoop over, Caddy said. Stoop over, Benji. Like this, see? We stooped over and crossed the garden where the flowers rasped and rattled us. The ground was hard. We climbed the fence where the pigs were grunting and snuffing. I expect they're sorry because one of them got killed today, Caddy said, the pigs. The ground was hard, churned and knotted. So we're still staying in this other timeline he's remembering. Keep your hands in your pockets, Caddy said, or they'll get froze. You don't want your hands froze on Christmas, do you? So now look. Now if you're reading the first time, you know it's Christmas now. Before it was April 7th, 1928. His 33rd birthday. Now you know it's Christmas. And look, first Luster was with him. But look what happens now. It's too cold out there, Verse said. You don't want to go outdoors. So now we're staying that other time. Verse is the other caretaker. other one of Dulcie's sons. So this is a different time when they're younger. What is it now? Mother said. He want to go outdoors, Verse said. They're all talking about Benji. He loafing around. He can't talk. Let him, Uncle Maury said. Obviously their uncle. It's too cold, Mother said. He better stay in. Benjamin, stop that now. She calls him Benjamin. It won't hurt him, Uncle Maury said. You, Benjamin, Mother said. If you don't be good, you'll have to go to the kitchen. Mammy say keep out that kitchen today, Verse said. So Verse, now we know Verse. Verse is the other caretaker. She say she got all that cooking to get done. Let him go, Caroline. So you know that's the mom's name, Uncle Maury said. You'll worry yourself sick over him. I know it, Mother said. It's a judgment on me, I sometimes wonder. I know, Uncle Maury said. You must keep your strength up. I'll make you a toddy so the mom's sick, huh? Or is she gonna saying she'll get worried sick? They drinking a damn hot toddies. It just upsets me that much more, Mother said. Don't you know it does? You'll feel better, Uncle Maury said. Wrap him up good, boy, and take him out for a while. He talking to Verse, the caretaker. Uncle Maury went away. Now this is Benji thinking. Uncle Maury went away. Verse went away. I mean, he just sees people come and going. That's why the prose is like that. Please hush, Mother said. We're trying to get you out fast as we can. I don't want you to get sick. And he's mumbling all along. People saying, you hush up. He's moaning. You hush up that moaning. Verse put my overshoes and overcoat on, and we took my cap and went out. Uncle Maury was putting the bottle away in the sideboard in the dining room. Keep him out about half an hour, boy, Uncle Maury said. Keep him in the yard now. Yes, sir, Verse said. We don't never let him go off the place. We went outdoors. The sun was cold and bright. That's how Benji sees the sun. Where you headed for? Verse said. You don't think you're going to town, does you? He running off. We went through the rattling leaves. The gate was cold. You better keep them hands in your pockets, Verse said. You get them froze out onto that gate. Then what you do? Why don't you wait for them in the house? He put my hands into my pockets. Benji talking. Luster did that to him. Verse. I could hear him rattling in the leaves. I could smell the cold. The gate was cold. Here's some hickey nuts. Hoo-wee! Get up that tree. Look here at this squirrel, Benji. I couldn't feel the gate at all, but I could smell the bright cold. You better put them hands back in your pockets. Caddy was walking. There she is. There's Caddy. She was running, her book satchel swinging and jouncing behind her. So he's 33. That's a while ago, because they're younger. And Caddy's running with her book satchel coming home from high school. Or school, Hello, Benji, Caddy said. So he's still there on his 33rd birthday with dang Luster watching the golf game, while Luster looks for a quarter in the grass, and he just got snagged on a nail. Now he's remembering all these things about Caddy. Where's Caddy? We'll find out, but he's remembering this. So Caddy coming home from school. Hello, Benji, Caddy said. She opened the gate and came in and stooped down. Caddy smelled like leaves. Did you come to meet me? She said. Did you come to meet Caddy? What did you let him get his hands so cold for, Verse? I told him to keep them in his pockets, Verse said. Holding on to that dang gate. That gate. Did you come to meet Caddy? She said, rubbing my hands. Oh, she's being nice to her brother, Benji. What is it? What are you trying to tell Caddy? Caddy smelled like trees and like she says we were asleep. Okay, now look at this. We go back to italics. And it goes, what are you moaning about? Luster said. So we back with Luster. We back real time. And he's just been moaning. He maybe misses Caddy. He's, what are you, so that's another thing, just the way I just growing up, because I grew up with a woman who had cerebral palsy, and we were the caretaker, we were the family caretakers in the house, so this reminds me of that. That's why I like this book a lot too, but also that's something, anyway, it's very Christ-like, looking at treating everyone from every vector of ability, and someone who mentally challenged is the main narrator of a novel. This is a glowed literary. It's a glowed thing. It's a glowed thing. What are you moaning about? Lester said. So we're back real time. You can watch them again when we get to that branch. Here's you a Jimson weed. He gave me the flower. We went through the fence into the lot. He gave him a Jimson weed so he could chew on it because he'd be drooling. Now look, it stops being italics, so we're going back into the scene. Because again, if it's luster, it's real time. If it's verse, it's the memory. What is it? Caddy said. What are you trying to tell Caddy? Did they send him out, Verse? Couldn't keep him in, Verse said. He kept on until they let him go, and he come right straight down here, looking through the gate. What is it? Caddy said. Did you think it would be Christmas when I came home from school? See, now we know. It's still in that Christmas time memory. Is that what you thought? Christmas is the day after tomorrow. Santa Claus, Benji. Santa Claus. Come on, let's run to the house and get warm. She took my hand and we ran through the bright, rustling leaves. We ran up the steps and out of the bright cold into the dark cold. Uncle Maury was putting the bottle back in the sideboard. He called Caddy. Caddy said, "Take him to the fire, Verse. Go with Verse." She said, "I'll come in a minute." We went to the fire. Mother said, "Is he cold, Verse?" "No'm," Verse said. "Take his overcoat and overshoes off," Mother said. "How many times do I have to tell you not to bring him into the house with his overshoes on?" "Yes'm," Verse said. Hold still now." He took my overshoes off and unbuttoned my coat. Caddy said, "Wait, Verse, can't he go out again, Mother? I want him to go with me. Aw." "You better leave him here," Uncle Maury said. "He's been out enough today." "I think you'd both better stay in," Mother said. "It's getting colder," Dilsey says. So Dilsey, that's the first introduction to Dilsey, the main caretaker. "Oh, Mother," they're fighting over whether Benji go out play in the snow. "Oh, Mother," Caddy said. "Nonsense," Uncle Maury said. "She's been in school all day. She needs the fresh air. Run along, Candace." That's Caddy, is Candace. The mother trying to keep her in, but Uncle says, You go on out into this. You go on out and get some snow." Go a little more and then I gotta get to work. Alright, you let him go, Mother, Caddy said. "Please, you know he'll cry." "Then why did you mention it before him?" Mother said. "Why did you come in here? To give him some excuse to worry me about? You've been out enough today. I think you'd better sit down here and play with him." "Let them go, Caroline," Uncle Maury said. "A little cold won't hurt them. Remember, you've got to keep your strength up." "I know," Mother said. So they just argue, they're doing an argument around in the family room right when Caddy got home from school. "I know," Mother said. "Nobody knows how I dread Christmas. Nobody knows. I am not one of those women who can stand things. I wish for Jason's and children's sake I was stronger." So Jason said, the other son. "Yes, sir," Caddy said. "Come on, Benji. We're going outdoors again." She buttoned my coat, Benji's, and we went toward the door. "Are you going to take that baby out with his overshoes?" Calling him a baby because he retarded. Mother said, Don't you want to make him sick? Do you want to make him sick with the house full of company?" "I forgot," Caddy said. "I thought he had them on." We went back. They went back in because she said his shoes weren't on. "You must think," Mother said. Okay, someone else is weird happening now because we got some italics. "Hold still now." "Oh, I see," Verse said. He put my overshoes on. "Someday I'll be gone and you'll have to think for him." "Now stomp," Verse said. "Come on here and kiss Mother, Benjamin." So now he's describing Verse putting on the shoes and then also the mom talking to him at the same time. Caddy took me to Mother's chair, and Mother took my face in her hands, and then she held me against her. "My poor baby," she said. She let me go. "You and Verse take good care of him, honey." "Yes'm," Caddy said. We went. Caddy said, "You needn't go, Verse. I'll keep him for a while." "All right," Verse said. "I ain't going out in that cold for no fun." He went on, and we stomped in the hall, and Caddy knelt and put her arms around me and her cold, bright face against mine. She smelled like trees. He loves his sister. He misses his sister. "You're not a poor baby, are you? Are you? You've got your Caddy. Haven't you got your Caddy?" That's what Caddy says to her brother Benji. Oh, I love that part. And then listen to this. So we going back into real time. Whenever you see Luster, you know we going back into real time. He's still just sitting there moaning by the damn golf course. And it goes, "Can't you shut up that moaning and slobbering?" Luster said. "Ain't you ashamed of yourself making all this racket? We passed the carriage house where the carriage was. It had a new wheel." Oh, that's him talking. We passed the carriage where the house where the carriage was. It had a new wheel. Now look, we somewhere else now. We jumping somewhere else now. There's three things we jumping around from, so we got two down. So look. "Get in now and sit still until your ma come," Dulcie said. She shoved me into the carriage. This is the Dulcie, the main caretaker, right? TP held the reins. Now who the fuck is TP? Oh yeah, TP is another caretaker guy, one of the servants. But TP held the reins. "Claire, I don't see how come Jason don't get a new Surrey." Now Claire, that's a contraction of declare. I declare. "Claire, I don't see how come Jason won't get a new Surrey." Dulcie said. A Surrey is a horse, right? "This thing's going to fall to pieces under you all someday. Look at them wheels, not a horse, a carriage." Mother came out, pulling her veil down. So now we know it's a funeral, right? They pulling her veil down, or a wedding conceivably. She had some flowers, so it's a different major event. That's going back to. "Where's Roscus?" she said. That's another one of the servants. "Roscus can't lift his arms today," Dulcie said. "TP can drive all right." So yeah, TP will hold it down. "I'm afraid to," Mother said. She's afraid to get in the carriage. "It seems to me you all could furnish me with the driver for the carriage once a week. It's little enough I ask, Lord knows." That's what Mother said. She a nervous wreck. "You know just as well as me that Roscus got the rheumatism too bad to do more than he have to, Miss Caroline," Dulcie said. "You come on, get in now. TP can drive you just as good as Roscus." "I'm afraid to," Mother said, "with the baby." So she's afraid to ride with Benji, I think, in there. Dulcie went up the steps. "You calling that thing a baby?" See, they kind of mean to Benji, because he hears, but he can't talk, she said. She took Mother's arm. "A man big as TP? Come on now, if you going." Benji, a full-grown man. He's the biggest TP. What? You call him baby? "I'm afraid to," Mother said. They came down the steps, and Dulcie helped Mother in. "Perhaps it'll be the best thing for all of us," Mother said. Whoa, not quite sure what you're talking about there. Maybe someone died. "Ain't you ashamed talking that way?" Dulcie said. "Don't you know it'll take more than an 18-year-old to make Queenie run away? She older than him and Benji put together. And don't you start, Queenie's the horse, I think, and don't you start no projecting with Queenie, you hear me? TP, if you don't drive to suit Miss Caroline, I'm going to put Roscus on you. He ain't too tied up to do that. You better drive this carriage good, because mom's mad." Yes'm, TP said. "I just know something will happen," Mother said. "Stop, Benjamin." So she annoyed at Benji a little bit. "Give him a flower to hold," Dulcie said. "That what he wanting." She reached her hand in. He holding on to the flower, sucking on the Jimson weed as it calms him down. No, Mother said. "You'll have them all scattered." Oh, because she got the flowers ready. I think it's for a funeral. Let's see. "You hold them," Dulcie said, "or go into the dam." We'll see. Go into the dam. Or maybe it's still saying, yeah, "You hold them," Dulcie said. "I'll get one out." She gave me a flower and her hand went away. "Go on now, for Quentin see you and have to go too," Dulcie said. "Where is she?" Mother said. So we know there's a girl, Quentin. "For Quentin see you and have to go too. Where is she?" Mother said. This is the key. This is what gets people confused. She down to the house playing with Luster, Dilsey said. Go on, TP. Drive that Surrey like Roscus told you. Yes'm, TP said. Hum up, Queenie. They're getting the carriage going. They're going. Quentin, Mother said. Don't let... Course I is, Dilsey said. The carriage jolted and crunched on the drive. I'm afraid to go and leave Quentin, Mother said. I'd better not go. TP. We went through the gate, where it didn't jolt anymore. TP hit Queenie with the whip. You, TP, Mother said. Got to get her going, TP said. Keep her awake till we get back to the barn. Turn around, Mother said. I'm afraid to go and leave Quentin. She's scared to leave. Quentin. Girl. Can't turn here, TP said. Then it was broader. The road. Then it was broader. That's what Benji said. He's still narrating. Can't you turn here, Mother said. All right, TP said. We began to turn. You, TP, Mother said, clutching me. I got to turn around somehow, TP said. Whoa, Queenie. We stopped, so they going somewhere. TP driving Queenie. You'll turn us over, Mother said. He's doing a sketchy U-turn. U-turn. What you want to do then, TP said. I'm afraid for you to try to turn around, Mother said. Get up, Queenie, TP said. We went on. I just know Dilsey will let something happen to Quentin while I'm gone, Mother said. We must hurry back. So, Quentin, yeah, we know there's a girl called Quentin. We're not going to say anything else. Hum up there, TP said. He hit Queenie with the whip. You, TP, Mother said, clutching me. I could hear Queenie's feet, and the bright shapes went smooth and steady on both sides. Oh, look at that. I could hear Queenie's feet, the horse clopping, and the bright shapes... This is Benji, went smooth and steady on both sides, the shadows of them flowing across Queenie's back. They went on like the bright tops of wheels. Then those on one side stopped at the tall white post where the soldier was. But on the other side they went on smooth and steady, but a little slower. That's how he perceives them going along in the carriage. What do you want? Jason said. He had his now Jason's here. He had his hands in his pockets, and a pencil behind his ear. We're going to the cemetery, Mother said. So now you know what they've been doing. They're going to the cemetery. All right, Jason said. I don't aim to stop you, do I? What was that all you wanted with me? Just to tell me that? I know you. That's what Jason's saying. So he don't care about the cemetery trip. I know you won't come, Mother said. I'd feel safer if you would. Safe from what? Jason said. Father and Quentin can't hurt you. So there's someone, Father and Quentin, who are both in the cemetery. Right? Different Quentin. We'll learn soon. But I have to say, because that's what confused you. Mother put her handkerchief under her veil. The brother Quentin appears to have been dead. Dead. Referenced as, oh, they're scared to go to the cemetery. Well, Father and Quentin can't hurt you. They're in the cemetery. They can't hurt you. They're dead. Mother put her handkerchief under her veil. Stop it, Mother, Jason said. Do you want to get that damn loony to bawling in the middle of the square? Drive on, TP. Jason calling Benji a loony, you know? So so hum up, Queenie, TP said. They still going on. It's a judgment on me, Mother said, but I'll be gone too soon. What, judgment on her? That Benji retarded? You know, this is some real shit right here. Here, Jason said. Whoa, TP said. Jason said, Uncle Maury is drawing on you for 50. What do you want to do about it? Someone with money. Why ask me? Mother said. I don't have any say-so. I try not to worry you and Dilsey. I'll be gone soon. And then you... Stops. End parentheses. End quotes. No period. Go on, TP, Jason said. Hum up, Queenie, TP said. The shapes flowed on. The ones on the other side began again, bright and fast and smooth. Like when Caddy says, we are going to sleep. That's the second time we got that. Like when Caddy says, we are going to sleep. Just let that rock, because you'll figure out what he means. And now it goes italics again. So now we're going back to Luster. Cry, baby, Luster said. Ain't you ashamed? We went through the barn. The stalls were open. You ain't got no spotted pony to ride now, Luster said. The floor was dry and dusty. The roof was falling. The slanting holes were full of spinning yellow. What do you want to go that way for? You want to get your head knocked off with one of them balls? They wandering somewhere. Looks like the golf balls are still around. And now, italics ends and we go. Keep your hands in your pockets, Caddy said, or they'll be froze. We back to Christmas. You don't want your hands froze on Christmas, do you? Now he going around the same barn with Caddy. This is what it reminded him of. Right? You don't want to get your hand... Now, he's wandering around with Lester. He can all these memories of Caddy. So now it goes back. So now this is him and Caddy, right? We went around the barn. The big cow and the little one were standing in the door, and we could hear Prince and Queenie and Fancy stomping inside the barn, the horses. If it wasn't so cold, we'd ride Fancy, Caddy said. Oh, this is continuing when they go out into just by themselves, remember? Caddy and Benji. If it wasn't so cold, we'd ride Fancy, Caddy said. But it's too cold to hold on today. She's just talking to Benji. Then we could see the branch. It's Benji, narrator, where the smoke was billowing. That's where they are killing the pig, Caddy said. We can come back by there and see them. We went down the hill. You want to carry the letter? Caddy said. You can carry it. She took the letter out of her pocket and put it in mine. It's a Christmas present, Caddy said. Uncle Maury's going to surprise Miss Patterson with it. We got to give it to her without letting anybody see it. Keep your hands in your pockets good now. We came to the branch. It's froze, Caddy said. Look. She broke the top of the water and held a piece of it against my face. Ice. That means how cold it is. Caddy's just been so nice to Benji. He remembers it all. She helped me across, and we went up the hill. We can't even tell Mother and Father. You know what I think it is? I think it's a surprise for Mother and Father and Mr. Patterson both, because Mr. Patterson sent you some candy. Do you remember when Mr. Patterson sent you some candy last summer? There was a fence. The vine was dry, and the wind rattled on it. Only I don't see why Uncle Maury didn't send Verse, Caddy said. Verse won't tell. Miss Patterson was looking out the window. You wait here, Caddy said. Wait right here now. I'll be back in a minute. Give me the letter. She took the letter out of my pocket. Keep your hands in your pockets. She climbed the fence with the letter in her hand, and we went through the brown, rattling flowers. Mrs. Patterson came to the door and opened it and stood there. And then we go Ital. I don't even really remember Mr. Patterson, Mrs. Patterson, but let's see what's good right here. Maybe their neighbor. Mr. Patterson was chopping in the green flowers. He started chopping and looked at me. Mrs. Patterson came across the garden running. It seems to be a memory. When I saw her eyes, I began to cry. You idiot, Mrs. Patterson said. I told him never to send you alone again. Ooh. Give it to me quick. Mr. Patterson came fast with the hoe. Mrs. Patterson leaned across the fence, reaching her hand. She was trying to climb the fence. Give it to me, she said. Give it to me. Mr. Patterson climbed the fence. He took the letter. Mrs. Patterson's dress was caught on the fence. I saw her eyes again, and I ran down the hill. They ain't nothing over yonder but houses, Luster said. We going down to the branch. Okay, now we back here with Luster and them, so I'm not really sure what happened there. But they'll probably return to that. Then it goes, they ain't nothing over there yonder but houses. That's what Luster was saying earlier, remember? We going down to the branch. They were washing down at the branch. One of them was singing. I could smell the clothes flapping and the smoke blowing across the branch. You stay down here, Luster said. You ain't got no business up yonder. Them folks hit you for show. He keeps saying S-H-O. It's like for show. Sure. Them folks will hit you, so they're pulling up on something. What he want to do? He don't know what he want to do, Luster said. Someone else said that. He think he want to go up yonder where they knocking that ball. Oh, see, they still here by the damn golf. Oh, I see. He's saying stay away from the golfers. You sit down here and play with your Jimson weed. Look at them children playing in the branch. If you got to look at something, how come you can't behave yourself like folks? So there's some people playing in the branch in the creek, and he's keeping them away from him. I sat down on the bank where they were washing, and the smoke blowing blue. "Is you seen anything of a quarter down here?" Lester said. "What quarter?" "The one I had here this morning," Lester said. "I lost it somewhere. It fell through this here hole in my pocket. If I don't find it, I can't go to the show tonight. Someone with this quarter and the money changer, holding the money, losing the money. Where'd you get that quarter? Where'd you get a quarter, boy? Find it in white folks' pocket when they ain't looking?" Someone random me talking to. Or, I don't know yet. "Got it at the getting place." "I got it at the getting place," Lester said. "Plenty more where that one come from. Only I got to find that one. Is you all found it yet?" "I ain't studying no quarter. I got my own business to tend to." "You all trying to find this quarter still." "Come on here," Lester said. "Help me look for it." "He wouldn't know a quarter if he was to see it, would he?" "How can he? He can help look just the same." Oh, he telling Benji, "Come on, help me look for this quarter." They're saying he retarded. He can't find it. He's saying he can help me look. Lester said, "You all going to the show tonight?" So now we learn why he wants that quarter so bad. He wants to go to the show tonight. "Don't talk to me about no show. Time I get done over here, this tub. Time I get done over here, this tub. I'd be too tired to lift my hand to do nothing." He's talking to another one of the servants. I bet you be there," Lester said. "I bet you was there last night. I bet you all be right there when that tent open." So it's a tent coming to town, a show coming to town. This is be enough ends there without me. Was last night. Ends money. Good as ends money as good as white folks, I reckon. White folks give a money because no first white man comes along with the band going to get it all back, so can come work for him some more. Ain't nobody gonna make you go to that show. Ain't thought of it, I reckon. What you got against white folks? Ain't got nothing against them. I goes my way and lets white folks go theirs. I ain't studying that show. Got a man in it can play a tune on a saw. This is dialogue, right? So they're talking about the show. There's a man in it who can play a tune on a saw. Play it like a banjo. "You go last night?" Lester said. "I ain't going tonight. Or I going tonight if I can find where I lost that quarter." So he wants to go see this fancy guy coming to town playing a tune on a banjo. You gonna take him with you, I reckon?" "Me?" Lester said. "You reckon I be found anywhere with him? Time he start bellowing. What did you do when he start bellowing?" So he go out, Benji can't go anywhere. He starts freaking out when he's out. "I whips him," Lester said. He whips him when he said he sat down and rolled up his overalls. They played in the branch. "You all found any balls yet?" Lester said. "Ain't you talking biggity? I bet you better not let your grandmammy hear you talking like that." Lester got into the branch where they were playing. He hunted in the water along the bank. "I had it when I was down here this morning," Lester said. "Whereabouts you lose it?" "Right at this here hole in my pocket," Lester said. They hunted in the branch. Then they all stood up quick and stopped. Then they splashed and fought in the branch. Lester got it and they squatted in the water, looking up the hill, through the bushes. "Where is they?" Lester said. "Ain't in sight yet." Lester put it in his pocket. They came down the hill. "Did a ball come down here?" "It ought to be in the water. Didn't any of you boys see it or hear it?" "Ain't heard nothing come down here," Lester said. "Heard something hit that tree up yonder. Don't know which way it went." They looked in the branch. "Hell, look along the branch. It came down here. I saw it." They looked along the branch. Then they went back up the hill. "Have you got that ball?" The boy said. "What I want with it?" Lester said. "I ain't seen no ball." People looking for all kinds of stuff right now. The boy got in the water. He went on. He turned and looked at Lester again. He went on down the branch. The man said, "Caddy," up the hill, but they spelled caddy as a golf caddy. The boy got out of the water and went up the hill. Just listen at you, Lester said. "Hush up." Benji heard Caddy start freaking out. "What he moaning about now?" "Lord knows," Lester said. "He just starts like that. He been at it all morning, 'cause it's his birthday, I reckon." "How old is he?" "He 33, Lester said. 33 this morning." You mean he been 3 years old 30 years? I going by what Mammy say. You mean he been 3 years old for 30 years? That's messed up. He's still big. I going by what Mammy say, Lester said. I don't know. You're gonna have 33 candles on a cake. Anyway, little cake won't hardly hold them. Hush up. Come on back here. He came and caught my arm. Poor Benji. You old loony, he said. You want me to whip you? I bet you will. I bet you will. I is done it. Hush now, Lester said. He's saying you ain't gonna whip him. Ain't I told you can't go up there? They'll knock your head clean off with one of them balls. Come on here. He'll wander around, getting lost. He pulled me back. Sit down. I sat down and he took off my shoes and rolled up my trousers. Now get in that water and play and see, can you stop that slobbering and moaning? Okay, so we're going to stop right there. That's the first hour. We're on page 17. We got a long ways to go, but so we know we jumping around a little bit. It's Benji's 33rd birthday. He's with Lester. Doesn't seem like Caddy's there real time. And there's 3 scenes. One is him and Caddy romping around on Christmas. And then that ended going to Mrs. Patterson's. We got to figure out who Miss Patterson is. And then we also got the one with him with his mom and Dilsey going to the damn the cemetery for a different Quentin that appears to be dead. And now we back with real time with Lester, and it's his 33rd birthday, and he's slobbering and moaning, and they all clown him, and he trying to find the quarter. Lester trying to find the quarters we go to show to that night. So that's where we at. Tune in next every day. I'll do this every couple days till we get through.